I'm Catherine. I'm a 40-something employee working at a certain publishing company. The company I joined fresh out of college is really cozy, enough for me to keep working there for decades. Everyone's a competent employee, and the bosses are all dependable. I love my current job so much, I've been wanting to work here all my life. Until just a few years ago, I was single. After all, women often end up getting married and having kids, making it quite challenging to return to work. Although it's become easier to return to the workplace recently, I still wanted to work and found myself unmarried up until that point. By the time I was over 40, it seemed people thought I was definitely a single by choice, and even my close bosses stopped bringing up the topic. I loved my work so much and was always devoted to it, but I thought I'd like to get married at least once in my life. If I want to get married, I gotta start looking, huh? I spent my days thinking that way. But honestly, I couldn't afford to take my time like that. If I was going to start looking, the sooner, the better. That's why I decided to use a matchmaking service. There, I met a man named Adam. Adam and I hit it off right away and went on several dates. He was incredibly gentlemanly and polite, always prioritizing my feelings in everything we did. Being with him wasn't hard at all, and he was the kind of person who made me think if I were to marry, this type would be perfect. Adam was 3 years younger than me and apparently divorced. Once, I asked him about his ex-wife.
Well, it felt like she cheated on me.
He said that sadly, so I couldn't ask anything more. I can't believe she would cheat on such a wonderful guy. What was his ex-wife thinking? I remember thinking that. I was immediately attracted to Adam because he was my type. After several dates, we naturally started dating. When I found out Adam liked me too, I was really happy. Having a boyfriend for the first time in years, I was carried away, unbecoming to my age. Even after we started dating, the good times with Adam continued. He'd book casual places for dates, making everything feel so comfortable. I bet life would be fun every day if I could marry someone like him. I began to consider marrying Adam almost as soon as we started dating. After we got together, I found out Adam works as a painter. It was surprising since he seemed more like the office type, but it didn't bother me. I had been working at the same company for years with a stable income, and I wasn't planning on relying on Adam's income. One day, 6 months into our relationship, Adam proposed to me. I never thought I'd get married, so I was truly happy to spend my future with him. When I announced it at work, everyone was happy for me. Seeing their reactions, I finally felt the reality of starting a new life ahead. We quickly got married and started living together. We were both nearing our 50s and didn't plan on having kids. So we enjoyed our time together, traveling or starting new hobbies. But our happy days didn't last long. Around a year after we got married, Adam started saying,
Lately, it's hard for me to see.
Maybe it's presbyopia.
Maybe. Is this what aging feels like?
Well, we're getting into our 50s. We laughed it off. I had been dealing with presbyopia for a few years and always needed reading glasses, and I figured Adam, being a bit younger, was probably experiencing it too.
It's hard to see.
Even saying so, Adam continued his usual life without much worry. However, 3 months later, he said worriedly,
Something's wrong with my vision. My field of view is narrowing.
Hearing this, I had a bad feeling. A colleague of mine had developed glaucoma, which left him unable to work, and he had to leave the job. There's no cure for glaucoma, only treatments to slow its progression. It can lead to blindness, but some people live out their lives without it progressing. Could it be glaucoma? With that worrying thought, I urged Adam to go see a doctor immediately. There was a good ophthalmologist nearby, but Adam said,
I have a doctor I've been seeing for a long time.
So he went to a hospital in the next town, an hour away. After the examination, it turned out to be glaucoma. He would start treatment to slow its progression. Glaucoma. I had prepared myself, but hearing it was still a shock. Worrying that Adam might go blind, I couldn't sleep at night. Adam started treating his glaucoma with eye drops and medication. Despite the treatment, he went blind within a year. His loss of vision was incredibly fast, and it was painful to see Adam losing his sight so quickly. A few months later, his vision had weakened considerably, and he could no longer perform his job satisfactorily. Eventually, Adam had to quit his job as a painter. With Adam out of work, I started to work harder. I used to avoid overtime, but now I work late to earn extra money. We had savings, but I wasn't confident I could support Adam on my own. My manager, who had been taking care of me since I was a newbie, listened to my story. Having a long relationship with him, I could consult him on various matters.
Sounds like your husband is going through a tough time.
Yes, he's completely blind now.
If there's anything I can do to help, let me know. Catherine, you should take some time off too.
He listened and offered support. Just having someone to talk to was a blessing, but my manager went above and beyond by bringing in snacks and showing concern. I think it was because of such a manager that I was able to keep going despite the tough times. That year, I decided to use my bonus to remodel our house. I thought our house was difficult for Adam, he was now completely blind, to live in. We added more handrails and removed steps to add slopes. It turned into quite an extensive remodeling. But if it made life easier for Adam, I thought the remodeling was necessary. After months of remodeling, I noticed something while tidying up the room. Huh, where's my bag? I couldn't find a designer bag I had bought a few years ago. With all the remodeling and moving chaos recently, I might have stored it somewhere and forgotten. But I couldn't find it anywhere. That's strange. Where did I put it? I do a thorough tidying up regularly, so I'm pretty sure where things are kept. But no matter where I looked, there was no sign of the bag. How odd. Well, it'll turn up eventually. At the time, I didn't worry about it too much, but more strange things continued to happen. I noticed that the branded dishes and jewelry I love to collect were also missing. The dishes are gone. And the earrings I kept here. What's going on? I was confused and didn't understand what was happening. Normally, we don't let anyone into our home, so the chances of someone stealing them were slim. That left Adam as the only possible culprit. But Adam is blind and he's always at home when I'm not there. It seemed impossible for him to sneak things out.
Catherine, what's wrong?
My collected dishes are missing. You don't know anything about it, do you, Adam?
Well, I can't see, you know.
Right, sorry.
Maybe you stored them somewhere and forgot.
Maybe. I asked Adam, but I knew he couldn't have known anything. No matter how many times I searched, the dishes and jewelry never turned up. Additionally, I discovered that other valuable items were missing from our home. It was quite creepy to find out things were disappearing without me knowing. Could it be a burglary? Maybe it happened without us knowing. The thought made me uneasy. If a burglar had entered and something had happened to Adam, it would be terrible. Thinking about the possibility of being targeted again, I felt it was best to report to the police immediately. On my day off, I filed a theft report with the police, though they processed my request.
Are you sure it's not somewhere in your house? There were no signs of a break-in, right?
They said that, and I felt they didn't take it seriously. Hearing someone else say it made me doubt myself. I'll search the house a bit more. So I decided to go back home. No matter how much I searched, I couldn't find them. I'm not someone who has a lot of stuff, so it didn't take long to go through my belongings. In the meantime, Adam was just sitting there, zoning out. In the end, I couldn't find the dishes or the bag, and their whereabouts remained a mystery. But a few days later, something even worse happened. I went to the bank to withdraw a month's worth of living expenses and used the ATM. After entering the amount, the screen showed insufficient funds. Insufficient funds? That can't be right. My personal bank account should have several $1,000s saved in it. So, running out of money was impossible. When I checked my account balance, it was at zero. What? No balance. Finding not a single dollar in my account, I panicked. I went to the counter to check again, but my account still had no money. No way. The shock nearly made me collapse. According to the bank staff, the money had been withdrawn in several transactions. But I always keep my bank book and seal locked up. I actually had them with me then, and it didn't seem like they were stolen. In a panic, I also checked our joint account, only to find it too had been emptied. This one too. No way. Suddenly finding myself without savings, I was left to get by on just a few $100s in my wallet. I rushed to the police to explain my situation and file a report. Yet again, the police said to me,
The bank book wasn't stolen, right? So, could it be someone in your family?
"But my husband is blind. He couldn't possibly do such a thing." I was so frustrated that Adam was being suspected that I couldn't help raising my voice. After somehow managing to file a report at the police station, I came home exhausted. "I'm home."
Welcome back, you look tired. Everything okay?
Yo, just had a lot going on. At that moment, I didn't have enough energy left to tell Adam our account balance was gone. "Well, you have a doctor's appointment the day after tomorrow, Adam. We have to go to the hospital." Even after going blind, Adam continued visiting the hospital for checkups, and his next appointment was in 2 days. If only I had parents at a time like this. I grew up in a care facility without parents. I couldn't help but think that if I had parents, they would surely help me, both financially and emotionally. As I was preparing dinner with these farts in mind, Adam's smartphone suddenly rang.
Yes, hello. What? Is that so? I see. My condolences.
After talking for a while, Adam hung up. Something happened.
They say the doctor I used to see at the hospital passed away today.
What? That was sudden.
Yo, and since the doctor is gone, the hospital can't operate. They're referring me to another hospital.
Okay, let's go to the hospital they referred us to then. Adam was shaken by the sudden news. The doctor at our usual hospital was a man in his late 80s, so something happening to him wasn't unexpected. But then Adam suddenly said,
My condition hasn't changed, so maybe I don't need to go to a new hospital.
"What are you talking about? You have to get checked out."
No, but...
"We're going to the new hospital, okay."
All right, I understand.
Then Adam was referred to a new hospital, and we decided to go there. The hospital we were referred to was a general hospital, so despite it being a weekday, it was crowded. "It's busy here. This might take a while today." Since it was our first visit then, I was prepared for it to take quite some time. Thinking this, I decided to wait by reading a book. When Adam's name was called, I took him to the examination room. Then, after a while, a nurse came to fetch me. It seemed the doctor had something to discuss with me. Could it be getting worse? With a sinking feeling, I headed for the examination room. The nurse then led me to a small room next to the examination room, probably to ensure other patients wouldn't overhear. Their thoughtfulness only made me more anxious.
You're Adam's wife, correct?
"Yes, Is my husband's condition worsening?" Then the physician said something unbelievable.
Please stay calm and listen. Your husband is not blind.
"What?" I blurted out loudly, shocked by the doctor's unbelievable words. "That can't be right. He was diagnosed with glaucoma at the previous hospital and he was receiving treatment for it."
Regarding his eyes, he absolutely does not have glaucoma. I've seen many patients over my years as an ophthalmologist, and his eyes are completely healthy, free of any disease.
"That can't be true. So, are you saying the previous doctor misdiagnosed?"
Well, the doctor has already passed away, so we can verify, but it's possible that the doctor was going along with what Adam was saying. Adam was pretending to be blind.
Why would he do something like that? I can't believe it. The cruel reality hit me hard, and I was overwhelmed. Seeing my distress, the doctor continued,
"There's more we need to discuss. Ma'am, you need to go to the police immediately."
"What? Why?"
To tell you the truth, I actually examined him about 10 years ago.
As I listened more closely, it turned out that Adam had been brought to the hospital with an injury in the past, and this doctor had been the one to treat him. He had cut his shin with glass, and it was quite a serious injury, I was told.
Adam has a large scar on his left shin, right? Seeing that reminded me.
Indeed, Adam had a large scar on his left leg. I never asked about it, but it was clear it was from a serious injury.
That was from a fight with his wife at the time, resulting in the injury. Afterwards, Adam was arrested for fraud.
Arrested for fraud?
Were you not aware? The police came to us, so I remember well. It seems he had been deceiving his ex-wife.
I had never heard about Adam having a criminal record. I was told he divorced his ex-wife due to infidelity, and I had no reason to doubt that story. But hearing this, all the pieces of the puzzle regarding my uneasy feelings fell into place. Could it be? Until then, I couldn't understand why my bags, dishes, and money from the account were missing, but for the first time, I started to suspect Adam was behind it all. After being informed of Adam's truth by the doctor, I decided to head straight to the police. Of course, I had to act as if I was unaware of the truth. The doctor had informed Adam that there was no problem found during the routine checkup. Well, since Adam's eyes were indeed healthy, saying there was no problem wasn't a lie. I spoke to Adam as if nothing happened. How did it go, Adam?
There was no problem. The doctor seemed really kind.
That's a relief then. We talked about things like that as we headed home. Once home, I set up a trap without letting Adam know. It was a hidden camera. I hid a small camera in a spot where Adam wouldn't notice to check if he was up to anything suspicious. I placed the camera on the living room's curtain rail. Adam always sits on the living room sofa, so if he did anything suspicious, it would be immediately noticeable. And near the camera, I placed a cardboard box. Inside were several designer bags. Since I had counted and knew how many bags were inside the box, I would immediately notice if anything went missing. Could Adam really be stealing? I didn't want to believe it, but the doctor's story seemed too specific to be a lie. I was too scared to check the camera footage and left it for a few days. Then, over the weekend, pretending to clean, I moved the cardboard box from the living room to the bedroom. Although there were supposed to be 5 bags inside, only 3 were left. No way, Adam was behind this after all. I braced myself and decided to watch the footage from the camera. It was recorded 3 days before. The video captured me getting ready for work and heading to the front door. Once I was gone, Adam's behavior changed dramatically. He moved around the living room without a cane, and his gaze shifted in a way that clearly showed he could see. It was a scene I had often seen before his supposed diagnosis with glaucoma. Watching him navigate smoothly without bumping into furniture, I felt a sense of despair. No way, he was deceiving me all along. Then, Adam took 2 of my designer bags from the cardboard box in the living room. It seemed like he was picking out the ones in better condition, likely because they would sell for more. Adam prepared to leave with the bags and went out. 2 hours later, Adam returned home and pulled out a brown envelope from his pocket. Several $100 bills came out of the envelope. He was caught on camera grinning as he counted them. He really sold them. More than being upset about the bags being sold, I couldn't forgive him for deceiving me. Since Adam's supposed diagnosis, I had done everything to support him. I remodeled our home to make it more comfortable for him and worked overtime to earn extra money. But all that was for nothing. I can't believe it. I will never forgive him. Given how hard life had been up until then, my anger towards Adam was unstoppable. I transferred the footage to my phone and went to the police station where I had filed the report. The footage served as evidence, and Adam was set to be investigated by the police. I returned home with the police officers. I'm home.
Welcome back. Where have you been?
Just a little trip to the police station. Oh, and to pick up divorce papers.
What? Divorce papers?
Adam seemed to realize something. Despite supposedly being blind, he stared at the police officers behind me. What? That look on your face. Seems like you can see, huh?
No, I mean,
Admit it, you can see, right? You're the one who took my bags.
what are you talking about? I can't possibly do that.
At that moment, an officer made a move.
Ah,
Seeing this, Adam flinched. See, you can see. We're getting a divorce, and you're returning every penny you took. Adam was then taken away by the police for further questioning. It later turned out that Adam had been in cahoots with the doctor from his previous hospital, who had provided fake diagnoses. That's why he insisted on going to that hospital, even though it was further away. It turns out he had used the matchmaking service from the start to find someone to scam. I guess someone with little experience in love, like me, would have been an easy target. Adam ended up being charged with the crime of theft. Through a lawyer, I proceeded with the divorce, and all the stolen money was returned. Given this was his second arrest, he wouldn't be getting out anytime soon. I thought getting married would make me happy, but it seems that was a misunderstanding. My dream of married life ended quickly, and I found myself single again. I even reported the divorce to my manager, who I had always confided in.
what? It was all a lie. Can such things happen?
That's exactly my thought. Burned by this experience, I started thinking maybe being single was better after all. For now, I just hope to enjoy life to make up for the hard times with Adam. Actually, a few months after divorcing Adam, I started dating my manager. Life is unpredictable, but I plan to keep enjoying it.